Hi guys, Ronnie here. Since it's the winter now in the northern hemisphere, I decided to talk about bike maintenance and more specifically washing your bike and how to clean it. If you've been watching my videos, you might have noticed that I try to get my bikes as clean as possible most of the time, and up until recently I have been doing it well, basically the old-fashioned way. So I have been using squirts, biodegradable bike cleaner, sprayed it all over the bike and then just washed it off with a hose and a sponge. And that works very well on road bikes. You can get them very clean, in good detail, when there's not too much dirt or mud on there. It's quite quick as well, so we can do it in under half an hour if you are being very thought of. And that's excellent for the summer. But more recently I have also got my way into cyclocross, and it's a bit more different in this discipline, because well, now that it's the middle of winter, we get the bikes very muddy quite often. Whether it's training or racing, they get really muddy, and I would say they reach a point where they are no longer possible to clean in a traditional way. Well, they are possible to clean a bit, but they are not possible to clean very thoroughly or in very good detail. So that's when I started pressure washing my bikes. Well, first it was only the cyclocross bike, because well, most people don't really advise it, and I tended to adhere to that because I don't really want to spend too much time servicing my bikes. Or, well, actually I service them quite often, but you know, I didn't want to get them suddenly break or the bearings to corrode, anything like that. So at first I was a bit skeptical and a bit cautious about it, but now I have a bit more experience. At first, when I did it, I stripped, well, basically the complete cyclocross bike. You can see it in another video, and it turned out with more experience I got that, well, basically it doesn't really hurt any of the bearings. For first, the bearings on my cyclocross bike, the bottom bracket has cross-specific seals on it, same for the pulley wheels. The headset, it went a bit wrong, but not because of the pressure washing, so I had to change that, but more on that in a different video. So overall I found out that the bearings are not nearly as susceptible to pressure washing as people might lead you to believe. And another good thing about it, about the pressure washing, I think it's more economical, because you don't really have to use any solvents or bike cleaners, so you save a bit of money on there. Then you save quite a lot of water, because you know, with my pressure washer, which I'm going to show you in a minute, cleans very effectively, has large spray at high pressure, so I use basically, I would say, 5 liters of water for one complete clean, because it doesn't last longer than a couple of minutes, and the bike is completely spotlessly clean afterwards, so I don't even have to do anything with a sponge. And the best of all, it doesn't really hurt any of the parts. Yeah, so I think even if you're stripping a bit of grease and getting a bit of water in your bearings, it's still better to have a clean bike that you can service afterwards and is spotlessly clean, as if you were just washing it with a bucket of water and a brush or a sponge, and you would leave a lot of mud in the nooks and crannies when it can corrode and build up over time. Because, you know, if you've seen a dirty cross bike, you know what I mean. It's just not possible to clean without high pressure water, and that's why they do it in the cross courses at the races. That's why they use all those pressure washers. So yeah, so this is the cross part of the equation, and then recently the roads got pretty muddy and mucky. I tried that on a road bike as well, and it works just as well, even though it's not quite as necessary perhaps. What I used to do was, as soon as I got back from a nasty, dirty ride, I immediately got some cleaner on the bike and hose it off before it has a chance to dry out, and then it's much harder to clean, obviously. But then, as I said previously, I was at university, I had a lot of work to do, I wasn't really spending too much time at home, so I didn't clean my bike after every ride. And then when it gets kind of dry, you build up a crust on there. Obviously it's not ideal, so that's when a pressure washer comes in handy, because you can just wash it off in 5 minutes to be spotless and clean, and basically you're good to go. Again, no solvents needed, no brushes, anything like that. I know I keep repeating myself on this one, but pressure washer only still works on dirt, on mud, on road grind. It does nothing to oil. So if your chain is oily, your bike is still going to be messy, and that's one of the reasons why I box my chains, but you can find plenty of information on that in my other videos. When you box them, they're always very fast and spotlessly clean, so nothing to worry about. Okay, so this pretty much sums up my pressure washing experience. I have also stripped down the bearings on my road bike, and no damage has been done. If you do it reasonably, of course you shouldn't aim directly at the bearings, but even though I have much less protection on these bearings than on a cross bike, they still work and spin very, very fine. So there are lots of models of pressure washers you can get out there. I'm not really aware of that market, to be honest, but still I want to show you what I use. So let me just move us into the other room. Need a light as well. Yeah, so here's my pressure washer. It's called Serio, which is fun, and it's actually a huge industrial power unit. It can even run on diesel, and it goes into the 400 volt high voltage circuit, so it's a very, very powerful unit. If you adjust it so it can strip the skin off your hands, no problem. But yeah, that doesn't sound very good when we talk about preserving the bearings of your bike. But I have it adjusted, as you may have seen in my little time-lapse video, that it has the highest pressure, but it's spread into a very, very wide jet. So this way you can clean a lot of the bike, a great portion of it, at the same time, and you don't have a concentrated jet in one single point, which is very harmful, or it can be if you aim it so. And this way I have had very good success with cleaning bikes, but also motorcycles, cars, off-road trucks, and so on. So if you have a pressure washer, I definitely recommend a setting like this. Having a small, weak pressure washer with a concentrated jet into a single point would be much more harmful than this. So yeah, this is just, it's tried and it works, so I really recommend setting up something like this. Okay, so I think this is all of my information and experiences with pressure washing my bikes. I hope you have found it useful. There's definitely nothing to be worried about if you stick within the reasonable limit. And yeah, if you'd like to know more about the bikes themselves, then don't forget to tune into my channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.